Life will test you. It will push you beyond the limits you thought you had. There will be moments that rattle the very foundations of who you believe yourself to be, moments where everything you've built feels fragile, where the ground beneath you feels like it's shifting, and you're not sure if it will hold. You'll face nights when the silence feels too loud, days when the pressure is so heavy it feels like the air itself is trying to crush you, and situations that shake you to your core. In those moments, when the noise in your mind is deafening and the weight on your chest is suffocating, only one thing, just one, will decide whether you rise or fall: your ability to remain calm. Because calm is not weakness. Calm is not the absence of emotion. Calm is a weapon. It is the sharpest blade you will ever carry. It cuts through confusion. It slices away panic. A calm mind sees things others can't. While others are drowning in chaos, you see the path forward. You find angles. You find solutions. You act with precision instead of desperation. And this ability, to think clearly when everyone else is falling apart, isn't something you're born with. It's something you train. It's a skill, forged in the fire of challenges and honed through discipline. Most people lose their battles not because the obstacle was unbeatable, but because they let fear take the wheel. Fear blurs vision. Chaos demands you act without thinking. And when you let it control you, you hand over the outcome of your life to chance. But when you train your mind to be still, when you refuse to let emotions run wild, you rise above the storm instead of being swallowed by it. That stillness becomes your power. It's not about ignoring reality, it's about facing it with unshakable clarity. Life doesn't send you a warning. It doesn't knock politely and say, "Get ready. Something's coming." It hits you without asking. Sometimes you see the storm forming in the distance and think you have time to prepare, but by the time you realize it's closer than you thought, it's already here. Other times, it comes like a sudden wave, crashing over you before you even understand what's happening. The ground shifts, familiar faces change, and suddenly you're not sure which way is forward, backward, or down. The question in those moments is never whether the storm will come, it will. The real question is, will you keep your mind steady while it rages? Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. That is the essence of calm. It's the fortress no storm can breach. But calmness is not built in peaceful moments. Anyone can be composed when nothing is at stake. The real test is whether you can be composed when your future is uncertain, when the air is thick with tension, when everyone around you is losing their grip. That's when calm stops being a nice idea and becomes a survival skill. People think calm is a personality trait, that some are just naturally chill. But calm is not a gift. Calm is built. It's a muscle you strengthen through training, by learning to pause before you react, to breathe before you speak, to think before you move. It's choosing not to be a slave to the first emotion that rises in your chest. It's the ability to feel anger and still speak with control, to feel fear and still move forward, to feel pain and still choose reason over impulse. Carl Jung once said, "I am not what happened to me. I am what I choose to become." And in those moments of pressure, the choice to become steady instead of scattered changes everything. We live in a world that teaches us to react instantly. Messages demand immediate replies. News flashes grab our attention before we can even process the truth. Someone insults us, and we snap back without thinking. Someone challenges us, and our pride leaps up before reason can calm it down. But reaction is not control, it's surrender. When you react, you give away your power. When you respond, you take it back. The difference is the gap. The gap between what happens and what you choose to do next. In that gap lies your freedom. Think about the last time you reacted out of pure emotion. Maybe you lashed out at someone you love. Maybe you made a decision you regretted the moment the adrenaline wore off. In that moment, it felt justified. Anger and fear are convincing liars. But clarity always comes later, when the damage is done. That's why you must train your mind before the storm comes. Because in crisis, you don't rise to the occasion, you fall to the level of your training. If your training is panic, you'll panic. If your training is patience, you'll hold steady. The body plays its own tricks under stress. Your heart races. Your breathing becomes shallow. Your muscles tighten, ready for a fight or flight you may not need. Your brain shifts into survival mode, shutting down reason to make room for instinct. That's why fear feels so overwhelming. It changes your biology. But you can reverse it. The simplest, most overlooked tool you have is your breath. Slow it, and you slow your heart. Slow your heart, and you calm your mind. Even 3 deep, deliberate breaths can shift your state from chaos to control. It's what elite soldiers, pilots, and surgeons use when seconds matter and mistakes cost lives. But breathing is just the first step. The deeper skill is learning to see differently. When you label something as a problem, your mind braces for pain. It feels heavy, unmovable, like something happening to you. But when you label it as a challenge, your relationship with it changes. A challenge invites you to rise. It calls you to bring your best self forward. The facts may be the same, but your frame changes everything. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." That's not just philosophy, it's power. Reframing doesn't mean lying to yourself or pretending something awful is secretly wonderful. It means looking at it honestly and deciding how to engage with it in a way that makes you stronger instead of weaker. When something goes wrong, instead of asking, "Why me?" you ask, "What can I learn from this?" The first question drains you. The second fuels you. Thomas Edison, after thousands of failed experiments, didn't say he failed, he said he found 10,000 ways that didn't work. The facts didn't change. His perspective did. And the truth is, calm isn't forged in big dramatic moments, it's built in small ones. In the choice to ignore a petty insult. In taking a breath instead of rushing to prove your point. In pausing before sending that angry message. These small acts of control stack over time, building an identity, a person who cannot be easily shaken, no matter how loud the storm becomes.